What does it mean for a faith to live in the present? Not just to remember its past, but to respond to the world as it is today. This is Ismailism v50. Ismailism, version 50. The era of the 50th Ismaili Imam, Mawla Rahim. The spiritual leader of the Ismaili Muslims within the broader Islamic tradition. Ismailism is rooted in Islam, as practiced and lived by Ismaili Muslims. In Ismaili belief, the Imam is a living, present guide. He is present, and his guidance speaks to the times. And these are changing times. It has been just over a year since Mawla Rahim assumed this role, and already there are signs of movement. Changes to rites and rituals, some long overdue. A visible encouragement toward openness, toward a community that does not close in on itself, but opens outward. And there is anticipation, a quiet excitement, especially among younger members of the Jamaat, who sense that something is evolving, that faith is not being preserved in glass, but allowed to breathe. Now, what does that evolution look like? This is where we offer not a definition, but a perspective, an independently produced reflection that does not claim to represent any official position of the Ismaili community. Just one way of making sense of a living moment. Think of it like this. What if Ismailism v50 is a spiritual operating system? Like a computer operating system. Not the only way to understand it, but one way. An underlying system that helps you navigate life. And like any operating system, there is a core kernel. Something that does not change easily. The core principles remain the same: ethics, compassion, the search for meaning, service to others. But the version gets updated, with each living Imam guiding the community according to the needs of the time. Ismailism v50 is not perfect. It keeps evolving. And like any living system, it receives updates as situations and experience dictate. According to Ismaili tradition, the living Imam is the chief architect of these updates. So while we reflect and discuss these ideas here, the final direction rests with Mawla Rahim, in his wisdom, in his knowledge, as he looks across a global dashboard of a diverse and changing Jamaat. Because that is how we move forward, in unity. And unity is not optional. Without it, we risk losing everything. But with it, the sky is the limit. And on top of this spiritual operating system, you can install your own software, your own apps. You can plug in the Satpanth tradition with its poetry, its ginans, its South Asian devotional depth. You can run Central Asian expressions through music, rhythm, identity. You can bring your own faith and culture, your own language, your own questions, and perhaps even explore other faiths as parallel applications, not as conflict, but as coexistence. And perhaps this is also all aspirational. Not all systems are open, not all ideas flow freely, not all spaces feel easy to enter. But maybe that is the point. Not to claim perfection, but to keep moving toward it, to question, to expand, to become more open than we were before. And if you are an atheist, that too can be an app. a different way of asking questions, a different way of making meaning within the same spiritual operating system. Because at its core, this is about engagement, reflection, and becoming more human. Now, if we continue this analogy, like any operating system, it won't run virus software. In this case, hate, intolerance, division. Those simply don't install. At its core, what we are witnessing is a faith engaging with the present, not abandoning tradition, but updating how it is lived, not rejecting identity, but expanding it, not limiting truth to a single path, but allowing it to be explored across experiences. And yet, change in a global, multi-generational community is never instant. The Jamaat spans cultures, continents, generations. What feels natural to one group may feel unfamiliar to another. So change must be paced, sequenced, thoughtfully introduced. Not everything needs to be implemented everywhere, all at once. Some Jamaat Khanas may become spaces of experimentation, places to try, to learn, to observe what works, and then to refine, before those changes are shared more widely. Because evolution is not just about movement, it is about learning while moving. And perhaps this is where the idea becomes bigger than a community. Because a spiritual operating system that allows diversity without division, that encourages exploration without losing direction, that evolves without losing its core, may be exactly what the world needs right now. So the question changes from what must I follow to how must I live? Ismailism v50, Mawla Rahim era, a spiritual operating system with a timeless core and a living, evolving expression. Not a final answer, but a journey still unfolding. See you next time. Ya Ali Madad.